1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't actually do that when I start a video. That isn't my real warm-up. Hey there my dudes, I am Letty and welcome to another video. So I'm a mess in this video, as I usually am in most of my videos because I am trash. But as you've seen in the title, we are speaking about, can cisgender people get gender dysphoria? So I've got my computer here and I've got a few things up for research so we can look into this. And by definition, which this could be a short video if it was just speaking about by definition, no, cisgender people can't get gender dysphoria because it's specifically something that transgender people feel. Because it says the gender dysphoria, feeling, oh my god, turn off that heater. Gender dysphoria, the condition of feeling one's emotional and psychological identity as male or female to be opposite to one's biological sex. So that being like you feel this gender dysphoria being opposite to what your sex is. So for example, I feel like I'm a man, however my sex is female, and so that I experience gender dysphoria. However, if we look at what the symptoms of gender dysphoria are, can cisgender people feel those symptoms? So I had a look. There's something that's just speaking about what is gender dysphoria. And gender dysphoria, feeling strongly that their gender doesn't match their biology, and that is why cisgender people can't get gender dysphoria by definition. But certain symptoms of gender dysphoria, mainly it's like if you're a child, like gender dysphoria behaviours in children, insisting they're the opposite sex, wanting to play more with like the opposite sex, wanting to dress like the opposite sex, this kind of stuff. However, one of the big things of gender dysphoria, I feel, is feeling like you don't fit into the sort of gender you identify as. And even though cis people, you know, they identify as they're happy with the sex and the gender that they were assigned at birth, they do have an identity. Their identity, for example, if you're born a male, their identity being cis is a man, and it's just, you know what I mean, it's not different to their sex, and that's why they don't really think about their gender identity as much. But yeah, one of the things I think is not having enough physical signs of your sex, not having enough physical signs of the sex of the gender that you identify as. And I think that cisgender people can actually feel that type of dysphoria. Because dysphoria is a word that just means sort of general discontent with oneself. It can be in certain aspects, so gender dysphoria, it's to do with your gender related with your sex, and general dysphoria is it can be weight issues, it can be like appearance and a lot of other things. But I feel like there's things with being cisgender, and I haven't seen videos about this online or looking into this, and I feel like I want to do even more research into this. But I've actually asked like a few of my cis friends and I told them about it. I told them what the symptoms could be. So symptoms could be feeling like you're not masculine enough. So I don't feel like I'm masculine enough, especially when I'm like, yeah, if I'm like thinking about dating people, I'll be like, oh, am I not masculine enough for them if they're gay, or if they're a gay guy or a straight woman, I'll be like, am I not masculine enough for them? Is my body not quite what they'd want? You know what I mean? I get really nervous about that kind of stuff. But that's fair enough because I'm trans. But I feel like from what I've spoken to a few of my cis guy friends, I was speaking to someone the other day, this mainly occurs, from what my experience has been, this mainly occurs in, I mean, it isn't mainly, but it occurs in a different way from men to women. This sort of dysphoria of their gender, which doesn't make sense, but like dysphoria of their gendered appearance, so the gender of their appearance. So for example, with guys that I've spoken to, a lot of guys I've spoken to, they feel like they may not be masculine enough, or they feel like they may not be macho enough, and that's why some guys go to the gym and this kind of stuff, because they want to bulk up, because they feel like their body isn't masculine enough, and one forms of masculine is being really muscular, and being muscular therefore makes them feel better. And there's some guys that are skinnier, they may feel a bit more feminine of a guy, and they may feel like they're not man enough. And there's some, like, that I was speaking to a guy and he went, that's one of the reasons why I go to the gym, so I can seem more masculine and I can, you know, be bulked up more. And I'd say that that was a form, because it's the same reason I go to the gym. Haven't been in like 2 weeks though, because I'm a failure. But it's mainly because I've been ill for about 2 weeks, so I'm still ill now. But yeah, the reason why I go to the gym is so I can bulk up and I can look more masculine. And I feel like, even though it may be on different levels, because they are already from a starting point with testosterone in their body, they already look more masculine than me. But it's the same sort of thing. We experience, maybe at different levels, but we experience the same sort of dysphoria. Mine may be more severe than theirs, I don't know, but, you know, it's still the same sort of thing. And there's a lot of things not acting macho enough. People, I know a lot of guys who are maybe a bit more sensitive, and they feel a lot of dysphoria around the way they act, being more sensitive and being more like, oh, you know, being more coy and stuff, because that is seen in society as not being a very masculine trait, because men are meant to be more dominant over the thing, is what they see it as. And that's a part of, I know a lot of my friends who are a bit more shy, guy friends who are a bit more shy and a bit more coy. They're always like, oh, they always say that they feel like when they go on dates and stuff, it's like straight guys especially, if they go on dates with girls and they're a bit coy, a bit shy, they're not really seen as, I guess they're not really, they don't have as good feedback because they're not as masculine in their personality. And sometimes I feel the same. I'm a feminine person, okay? Like, I swear to God, when I go through my transition, I'm going to attempt to be the next Jeffree Star, because I want to do makeup, I want to do it all. I haven't done makeup in ages, but I love makeup. I watch so many makeup tutorials. But I worry because a lot of people come on here and they'll type random comments. It's just random commenters. They'll type out a comment and they'll be like, oh my God, you cannot be trans if you are this feminine, if you are like acting like this, if you like to, you know, dress up in like videos as a girl, if you like to dress up like this. And I'm like, no, I'm just super camp most of the time. And I can be masculine when I'm around my lad mates or when I'm around straight girls and stuff. But mostly, if I'm just with my girls, or if I'm with if I'm with gay guys, I become super camp. That's one for me, and I know a lot of other guys who act kind of camp. Even they worry about their masculinity, because they're like, oh, I act a bit camp, or I'm a bit sensitive, and it's not masculine enough. And same with many other forms of appearance, and like, oh, is this sort of, does this look too feminine? Does this haircut look too feminine? And I feel like that is a form of symptoms, at least, even though cis people can't be by definition gender dysphoric. I feel like they could have the symptoms of gender dysphoria in different ways, in their own sort of cisgender way. And with girls, I think it's a different thing. I've experienced or heard about it less from girls. Like, girls usually, at least the girls I know, they usually don't say, I'm just worried I'm too masculine or whatever, because I think I know a lot of girly girls. But I do know a few girls that are quite masculine, and when people come up to them, like, some of the girls I know that are quite masculine, even though there's absolutely nothing wrong, of course, with being a lesbian, I feel like some of the straight girls that I know that are masculine, they get worried that, like, the people that they date are gonna think they're either a lesbian or they're just too masculine, and they're gonna, these guys that they date, they're gonna sort of overshadow them. And so I understand what they mean by that. Like, I know a couple of girls who they try to put on, it's another thing of makeup. I know a few girls who, if they're not wearing makeup, they say they think they look too masculine or they don't look feminine and pretty enough. And I feel like that, yet again, putting on makeup is a form of resolving some form of dysphoria, and it is related to gender expression. It's gender expression dysphoria with cisgender people rather than just gender dysphoria. And I mean it's a bit of both, and it's hard to explain because it's a mix everywhere, but and it's the same. I know when I know masculine girls, they feel like, even though they like to wear these masculine clothes, sometimes they feel a bit like they're not quite the same as the other women because they're not quite as feminine as them. In my response, I feel like, even though by definition in the dictionary gender dysphoria is just for trans people, I feel like cis people can get forms of gender dysphoria in whether they're masculine enough or whether they're feminine enough, or whether they're too feminine or whether they're too masculine. Because from my experience, like, even though it's maybe a more, not maybe, but it usually is a more severe scale for trans people, because they are, like, I'm literally trapped in the wrong body. So, like, even when I've got to sort of compensate more for it, they still have to compensate a little if they feel like they're not either side of the spectrum enough, either masculine or feminine. So yeah, I feel like that's my little summary. If we lag back into here, I saw a thing that said, can cis people feel dysphoria? And about, like, this person always reads about trans people feeling dysphoria and can cis people feel it, and the person here yet again said, by definition you can't. However, dysphoria is a dissatisfaction with life. Cis people can experience body dysphoria, so it's more about body dysphoria, but the body dysphoria that occurs is mainly to do with gender. So you can feel body dysphoria, like, you know, as I said in the beginning, about your weight, about many other things, but really a lot of the times I've known is if you're masculine or feminine enough. So anyway, that was my little thing. I don't know, I've been so stressed out this week, and I've been ill for about 2 weeks, so I know I've only been posting once a week, and I've usually posted twice a week. Hopefully I'll get back to posting twice a week. I've just been sort of ill and tired and honestly a bit lazy, so there will at least be one video out a week. This one I had to do a little quick because my dad's going to be visiting for the weekend in, like, you know, he'll be here in about half an hour, so I had to make this for the weekend. I've got so many videos planned, so many cool ideas of videos, so many videos to react to, so there should be plenty more. And Monday I have my blood test. I said I'd be healthy this week, so my blood, I don't know if it would affect my bloods at all, but I said I'd be healthy this week, but I just ate a bunch at McDonald's, and the day before I just ate a bunch of burgers and unhealthy food, so that diet obviously hasn't worked properly. But yes, it's Monday is my blood test. I've been really nervous, and that's why I've sort of been slacking on making videos. I've been so stressed out because of the stuff I have to do this week. But I'm just excited to get the blood test done so I can send them off to him and to Dr. Lorimer, and hopefully get testosterone soon, and then I can feel minor dysphoria, gender dysphoria, like cis people do. But I just can't wait. Fingers crossed it all happens well, and yeah. Okay, well, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, because you know you want to be part of this. You know you want to see what's happening with my quest to I don't know what I'm going to call my transition, because there was, like, that other YouTuber had, like, the quest to my beard or something, so I need to come up with, like, a name for mine. I'll think about what a name for my transition is, but either way, if you guys want to watch my transition, please subscribe, and let me know as well in the comments down below what your experience, if you're cis or if you're trans, what your experience is with your friends having cis friends having dysphoria, and if you're cis, tell me if you feel like you've ever had dysphoria to do with gender or gender expression or how you look or how masculine and feminine you are. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Bye.